Hi there. I'm back in the garden and I'm picking some things for dinner tonight. It is July, mid-July, and things are actually really starting to come in to the garden. I have so much basil, it's hard to use it all, and I'm going to go ahead and make some pesto. And so I'm going to show you my pesto recipe. And I think I'm going to see if I can pick a fresh tomato. Our tomatoes are just now starting to ripen. So let's go ahead and get the basil, and then I will, when we go back up to the house, I will show you how to make pesto, or show you how I make pesto. There are lots of different pesto recipes. This is a massive basil plant, and I definitely need to cut it down. Once it starts blooming like this, you know you have to pick off the blooms. But I am just going to really cut this thing down, and I show you how I'm going to do it. All right, what I'm going to do is take this plant way, way, way back. I'm going to cut it back to where there are what I call a joint, where you see two leaves about to come out. And it'll cut back. It'll end up growing forth from there. You can cut a basil plant really far back and it will regenerate. So don't have worries about that. You want to really take a look at that. Smells delicious. So I'm going to cut this thing way back. Way, way, way back. I'm going to be taking a good bit of this basil. I want to have about, 2 to 3 cups of leaves. When you make pesto, you don't use the blossoms and you don't use the stems. You just use the leaves. I'm going to cut this back. Then this plant's going to just keep producing for a while. Let's go ahead and keep doing that. Okay, this is the Mariglobe, and this is the first tomato off of this plant that I am picking. I think this one looks just perfect. Oh yeah. I think one will do it for today. All right, we've got our basil, we've got our tomato, and we've got some peppers. Let's go inside and make that pesto. This is one of my absolute favorite things to make in the summertime. And I often make extra, and I'll just freeze it in ice cube trays, and then when they're done, pop them out, put them in a Ziploc freezer bag or container, and freeze them so that I can use them in different things in the winter. Not just pasta, but I'll also throw them in stews and things like that as well. All right, so now it's time to make that pesto, and this is an easy thing to do. You will need a food processor or a blender or something like that because you've got to grind it up. Pesto is simple to make using just a few ingredients. I have about 2 cups of rinsed and basil leaves. I don't use the stem or the flowers, although here's a flower that escaped me. Pull that right off. So 2 cups, approximately, of basil leaves. I'm going to use about a half a cup of pine nuts, 2 cloves of garlic, half a cup of olive oil, half a cup of Parmesan cheese, and pepper. First step is to grind the nuts, the 2 cloves of garlic, and the basil together. This is so simple, and I love it. You know, I made a delicious cucumber sandwich with goat cheese and pesto on it a couple of weeks ago. I made a video on that. There's so many good uses for pesto. We're going to have it on pasta tonight with that fresh tomato that I picked. First thing you do is you're just going to grind this up in your food processor. I usually, after a few seconds of grinding, just give it a little bit of a scrape down the sides. Oh, look, I have a piece of basil that escaped the fate. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. I'm going to scrape down the sides again. Now I'm going to have the machine running, but since the machine is going to be running, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. With the machine running, you're going to want to slowly pour in the oil. I use an extra virgin olive oil. Oh yeah, this is a nice consistency. Next, I'm just going to add in the Parmesan cheese. Sprinkle around. And a good grind of fresh pepper. That's just going to give it the little picante that it needs. And there you have it. That's your pesto. Now, there are a couple of things that you can do. If you don't want to use that much oil, or that's too liquidy for you, you can cut back on the oil. You can put some water in with the oil if you like. It's really up to you. It depends on what consistency you like and what you like, how you want it to taste. I like mine to have that good olive oil flavor infused with that vinegar and infused with that garlic. So that's all there is to it. You can let this sit for a bit before you use it if you want. You can put it in the freezer and freeze it in cubes if you like. I have boatloads of basil in my garden right now, so I will probably make a big double batch of this and freeze it for the winter. Give some to my sister, give some to my neighbors, spread the love all around. So, bon appetit. So that's how you make pesto, and we're going to have a good dinner. I hope your garden is growing well. Hey, if you love to garden and you love to cook what you grow, this might be a channel for you. So please do throw a like down there. Do comment, because I love interacting with my followers. And please help me grow by subscribing. It's free. Thanks. Bye.